finding out the steps to take to return back to a work role can be a huge process, a daunting one. Many people approach this in different ways. They go straight into a standard recruitment process with job applications. Many people are fearful of not being seen as a person, only being seen for the brain injury. And so may try a voluntary work opportunity to develop a relationship with a potential future employer, so they're seen for their skills and the person who they are, and their needs for adjustments in their work role can be developed collaboratively with an employer in a more of a gentle, relaxed pace. In all of these scenarios, there needs to be a presence of an employment expert, really. Someone from an employment agency, a disability employment advisor, or if there is one, a clinical service that a rehabilitation service that supports vocational rehabilitation. And the meeting of these different perspectives, along with kind of disability rights, employment law specialists, all kind of come together to support survivors to find their right path to a role that's right for them post-injury. So they do indeed have an answer to what do you do then. It can be a difficult process, and some of the challenges that have been shown to kind of routinely lead to difficulties in holding down a job include themes of changes in the workplace and difficulties in dealing with other people. So we'll take the first as our point of thought and reflection. So someone may secure a role, be it voluntary or paid, and things can go well for many, many months and even years. But then if there is a change, such as a line manager moves on, a new line manager comes in, where that new person doesn't have any experience of working with a brain injury survivor, then it's like a house of cards that can collapse, and suddenly there can be lots of problems, and the work role and experience of working in a particular organisation can feel very overwhelming and confusing for a survivor, even if that's been a stable scenario for many years. Changes in work environments can also be a challenge. There's been a general move in office environments, for example, to move from small office to open plan office layouts over the last 30 years. And with that move to open plan office scenarios, there are noisier environments full of increased auditory stimuli and distractions, visual distractions, lots of clutter and busyness, and that can make it really hard for survivors of brain injury to focus on their work role. Similarly, the unique aspects of different work roles, be like a noisy factory environment or dealing with lots and lots of people in a customer-facing role, can be particularly difficult for survivors. So these are challenges that are present throughout, but changes in work premises or changes in the physical layout of a work environment can really perturb and disrupt the functioning and performance of a survivor in their work role, again after many years. The second major group of challenges is dealing with other people. I've talked about this in my other videos for the series, but other people can be the hardest aspect of a work role, be it dealing it with customers, be it dealing with work colleagues in a different environment, so dealing with work colleagues who are happy to be interacted with in a more an informal way versus a formal way, dealing with a hierarchy of managers to know how to behave differently to a colleague versus a boss versus the CEO. these will require kind of gear shifts in social interactions and different rules governing how we are with different people. So that's really challenging socially. And research has shown that a common reason for loss of a job role or demotion from the original work role following injury can be difficulties in planning, organising and social cognition, social communication. So difficulties in recognising emotions, difficulties in stepping into the shoes of other people can lead to problems in the workplace. So this may be doing the work role fine, but in a coffee or tea break, making a social transgression, saying an inappropriate joke, making someone else feeling uncomfortable and unintentionally, or maybe just standing too close to someone on their coffee break. All of these challenges can lead to work colleagues feeling uncomfortable around a survivor, and that's then hard for a boss or manager to think about in a positive manner, because it's harder to link that to disability than to think about physical difficulties or even memory difficulties. So often what can happen, it can be an elephant in the room that leads to eventually the manager ending the employment or work placement opportunity. It's harder conversation to have openly compared to other challenges in the workplace. So there's a real issue here about a need for ongoing support from a vocational rehabilitation or disability employment specialists to support both the survivor and their manager as the months and years progress in a work role. Unfortunately, many disability employment agencies, organisations focus on getting the person in the job rather than long-term job retention. And this can be really difficult and really challenging and leads to a kind of masking of the long-term employment needs of people with brain injury.